The Lip Sync Lalaparuza is an opportunity for Drag Race producers to give flowers to one of the competitors that they just didn't give them to. We see this all the way back to the very first Lalaparuza on Drag Race, which goes all the way back to All Stars 4. Latrice Royale was being weaponized against Manila Luzon, and they gave her that win to not only reward her, but also to continue to weaponize her story against Manila. Silky in All Stars 6, because Silky was a big deal in that competition and got sniped out very early. Near enough being used to give flowers to in Canada's Drag Race, and Morphine is given her flowers in the most recent season of Drag Race. And so I kind of figured that this episode was going to be on the similar vein, give props to someone who maybe they eliminated at the wrong time or was the shock elimination, maybe even give flowers to someone who's been making a big splash online like Corey King. I was going back and forth between Lana, Corey, and Lydia because I thought, of everyone that's here, Lana's gonna be one of the better lip syncers, Lydia's gonna be one of the better lip syncers, and Corey has been really making an impact off the show with her cameos and with her cosplays. And Susie was not really totally on my radar because, I don't know, I just don't see her as a strong lip syncer. But she had good story and she turned it out this week. Hi, hello everyone, welcome in. My name is Jer and we are recapping Drag Race Season 17, Episode 15, the Lip Sync Lalaparuza Smackdown. So this was what, like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago maybe? And this episode just proved to me that Drag Race can and should be like a lot of those other reality shows, Big Brother or The Voice, that air semi-live, so that we as the fans can in real time respond to what the producers are doing on the ground. Even if we have absolutely zero say in who's going home, that is fine with me. But I feel like it would be a good move for the production team to be able to get a better pulse check on who people are responding to. In seasons like season 11, producers really thought that Silky was going to be the one. They thought that people were gonna love her, so she got a heavy story all season, only for people really not to respond very well to her. I bring her up because I already mentioned her before, she's fresh in my mind. And there have been times where they thought someone was going to be massively hated, so they gave them a villain storyline, but people ended up loving them. Or they were oddly iconic off the show and people just wanted to see more of them, like Trixie Mattel. This episode made me realize that they can do their confessionals, their editing, their challenge, and keep spoilers to a minimum and be able to produce a pretty decent episode, because I don't think this was bad at all. And I wish so bad that Drag Race would just do that, because there are times where these girls get on where we as fans love them. The production team snipes them early and then have to bring them back for an All-Stars just to give us that queen that we wanted to see and then push them through the competition maybe unfairly. I'm rambling. All the girls are back and they feel super refreshed. This is months, maybe even a year after the show originally wrapped. So they've had time to think about what they did. They've had time to experience how the fans perceived them. We have a lot of competitors who are coming across like they've got something to prove. And I think some of them did. So let's get right into this. Rue looked frightening this week. She came around that corner and I was like Brenda in Scary Movie. I'm like, oh my God.
Damn, this is some scary shit.
These like boule lizard contacts with this glam bodysuit was so jarring and frightening. And then also not the Blair St. Clair. I want to talk specifically about the gasp that a gusp when Jules came around the corner looking like Lavender's Selena. That was everything. So the rules are pretty simple. Lip syncs, they can either choose when the ball lands on them, a competitor to lip sync against, or they can choose the song. And if they choose the song, the random ball will pick their competitor. I have a little tinfoil hat theory about this. In All Stars 4, Naomi has talked specifically about how she saw them loading up the cases that had the names of the songs in them, and all of the cases had adrenaline in them. So she knew they want me to do adrenaline. It was set up so that no matter what, they would always get that song. I sometimes wonder if these balls are also rigged, because we never see the wide shot when the girls are choosing their competitor or they're choosing the song or whatever, and we know that one of those balls is taken away. But sometimes they do a wide shot and Bruno and that case are not there, and they've done that in other seasons where the random ball is. So sometimes I wonder, is this entire ball cage just ball cage just one girl's name? Is this a device to make sure that someone will make it to the next round and they can try and assist as best as they can. I think about the season 14 Lalaparuza, that one comes to mind, because the competitors that got chosen in the order they did, landing on Georges in that very last round so that she got to choose what song she got, these ball choices never come across like they just naturally happened. I don't know, it's just a little tinfoil hat theory. I do like the twist that they can either choose their opponent or the song. I would always pick the opponent just to circumvent production. Hormona is the very first picked. She chooses her song, which is a Liza Minnelli song. I don't want to talk too much in depth about each one of these, so I'm gonna give some highlights. Overall, I didn't love the playlist. I thought it was kind of booger boots. Lydia is her lip sync partner, and I don't know, I just wasn't really vibing with the way that Hormona was performing through this. I thought she was a little bit unsportsmanlike throwing her in front of Lydia. And this epidemic of taking off your outerwear and showing your reveal within seconds of the lip sync starting is so egregious to me. Mama, just wear the car wash gown for half your number and then take it off. Make us edge and want it more. I'm begging for these queens to edge us just a little bit. Get a little spit and edge them. Am I asking for too much? Lydia wins this, which makes total sense to me. She's probably the strongest lip syncer in the cast, lip syncing against the weakest. And that's why I think this ball thing was meant to help somebody else. Hormona is the weakest lip syncer next to Acacia. So if they get her out early and she chooses the song instead of the competitor, they can then put in someone that they want to guarantee goes to round 2. That being Lydia. Round 2 is Susie, and she chooses to go against Joella because really none of the other songs were what she wanted to do, and she just felt okay about any of them. Joella ran her mouth a lot through the season about being able to send anybody home, and I think that this was her opportunity to show that she isn't a flop lip syncer, and I don't think she was able to succeed on that. This lip sync I think really proved why all the LA girls and many of my former drag friends had no idea who Joella was. Susie was feeling this song and she was serving at every corner. Training Season is a fantastic Dua Lipa song and I was really glad to see it. I feel like we need more Dua Lipa. Like we need Houdini next season, I think. Or even in All Stars 10. Ooh, I hope we get Houdini because that's a good one. Susie's in, Joella is out, and I fully did the Willem bye. Third out is Lucky, and she chooses Step by Step by Whitney Houston. The ball lands on Acacia, and right as she was saying that she wanted to pick her song, I out loud said, producers are gonna give her Acacia because they don't want her to scoot through. So I wasn't surprised when the random ball landed on her. What I think was smart about Acacia's performance is that she started out slow and sultry and was really trying to just give glamour, something that I don't think she did a lot of throughout the season. She was sort of doing this like country camp thing and it wasn't really ever resonating with the judges. And she kept looking over at Lucky and seeing that the judges were responding to her playing with the balls. And I think she thought, okay, I gotta be funny too. So she amped up the comedy and really leaned in on that. And I thought her silly, quirky, doofy, goofy little dancing and bits were entertaining. I liked them a lot. Her fake out death drop where she was halfway on the ground and then death dropped was hysterical. I think this truly could have gone either way, but production doesn't like Acacia as they showed again and again and again through this season. I would have loved to have seen her move forward so that she and Susie could have had a chance to lip sync since they had some tension that never really got resolved. Where Lucky didn't have a ton of storyline other than being out very early. And also her second lip sync didn't pay off for sending her through. So I think maybe it would have been better story to push Acacia, but that's just me. Fourth picked is Ariete. She chooses Blow Me One Last Kiss by Pink, and the drag gods chose Corey. Ariete worked me out. I'm not even gonna lie. I totally thought that she devoured this. That pleather bodysuit was so hot. For anyone that's ever been to a live drag show, Corey was giving me that queen that's booked 7 days a week and just doesn't really have to do that much because she's making her money. She got her $50 to be there. If she gets tipped, she gets tipped. If she doesn't, she's fine because she's getting her coin. Where Ariete was giving me the tip spot girl who did not get any money to be there and is putting her whole into her number, because if she doesn't, she's gonna go home with a singular beer drink ticket. So she's gonna work out the audience to try and make back at least the money it took her in gas to get there. And I responded better to Arietti's lip sync. I thought she was more entertaining. I thought she was more dynamic. I thought she had more stage presence. I thought Corey was fine. And Michelle hit the nail on the head that she wished that Corey was dressed up as Michael Jackson. She could have done literally any of her cosplays from this downtime, from recording till now, and I think it would have been a fantastic visual gag. And I mean, I already could see the writing on the walls as soon as Corey got pushed. They were doing something here with getting her to lip sync against Lydia again, and they were also doing something here by making sure that she ended up with Susie at the end. I could already see it from this point. I'm like, they're putting the two of them together because they had tension, they want to see that resolved, and they want to prove which one is better than the other in this back and forth, non-fight, kind of friction-y thing that has been going on all season. And then last out is Lana versus Crystal. I think Lana looked delicious in this multicolored number. This is part 2 for them, and so that was fun to see. Lana chooses You Make Me Feel, and I was kind of surprised to see one redo song in this playlist where everything else was a new number. I kind of wish that we had all new numbers rather than one recycled. To me, Bob will always have this one. Her like doing that weird like squishy scooty thing across the runway in that paper dress will live rent-free in my brain forever. Lana slayed this lip sync. That half split into standing back up to splitting again was so sexy. I wish I could do that. I can barely get halfway down in the splits. I thought Crystal was keeping up. To me, this was very familiar to Adrenaline, Gia, and Naomi, where they were both just neck and neck and really serving the whole time. I truly think this could have been a double save, and then round 2 could have been 2-2-2, and then the last lip sync could have been 3, maybe?
That would be 1 + 1 + 2 + 1, not 1 + 2 + 1 + 1.
Or they could have pulled out one last lip sync, I don't know. And then we get to round 2, where first out is Lucky. She chooses her song again, which is Found Love by Rihanna, and the drag gods choose Susie to go against her. Rue trying to say siéntese by saying siéntese. My Mexican ass, who was not allowed to learn Spanish as a kid but understands some Spanish, was dying on the inside. Died. And again, I really could see what they were doing. The writing was on the walls. Like, it was so clear. They want Susie and Corey in the final lip sync. It's so obvious. Rue also gave an interesting context clue to Lucky, saying, "Why are you playing with those basketballs so much?" Kind of implying, stop doing that. And Lucky just kept playing with them through the whole lip sync and ignored that context clue. I don't think that would have helped her in the lip sync. I think she still would have lost it no matter what. But I definitely think she should have listened to Rue and stopped playing with them. My favorite thing was TS looked bored the whole time. She just had this look like, when is this over? This is boring. Susie won, which made sense. She obliterated that lip sync, which is not what I was expecting. Oh, but at all, but I was very happy to see it. And then we get our 3-way lip sync. I hate 3-way lip syncs. We have Lana, we have Lydia, and we have Corey together. They clearly wanted Corey and Lydia to have their moment. For me, just for me, Lana had this energy through the whole episode, this radiance, this joy, this excitement that her run on Drag Race did not have. She had this kind of constant pall of sadness and darkness looming over her. She looked like at any given time she was going to cry, but she was just holding all that in. She had this joy and freedom that was floating around her while she was performing throughout this entire episode. And for me, I thought that radiance was so infectious, and I wish that they had rewarded that just a little bit, because genuinely I think she did the best in all of the lip syncs she was in tonight, and I think that was such a good lip sync performance from Lana. The whole time Lydia just looked super checked out, like she wanted Corey to go through, so she just restrained herself. Story-wise, I guess it makes more sense to push Corey through, but I think it would have been a better lip sync performance to push Lana through. I think she would have served way harder at APT. And I feel bad for Lana because I feel like she deserved that. And that final song is APT. And this is a song that is so viral and trendy right now. It's starting to lose its interest, so this was a good time to bring it back up because people are still feeling it. And this is why I wish that Drag Race stayed at least a semi-relevant current upload TV show, because they could listen to the songs that are currently popular, pull those in in for a lip sync and then show them to us. And I think that would bolster the show's clout with being relevant. You know what I mean? Susie slayed this so hard. And I know just about every one of the words to this song because I've been listening to it so much. And let me tell you, Corey was bubblegum, shamalama bing bonging the whole time. It would like turn and she'd be like, she did not know at least 35% of that song, which is why I wish that Lana got pushed through because I think that she would have known those. And also, I very much got the impression that when she did her boob reveal, they were supposed to be pasties, but those must have fallen off because when she removed them and she looked down, she immediately covers herself and is holding on to them the whole time like, oops, the girls were not supposed to be showing. And she just seemed kind of uncomfortable through the whole rest of the set as soon as the booby covers came off. Susie won the lip sync, and much like I mentioned before, this was, I think, a TV device to give her flowers because they sniped her right before the finale. And a lot of y'all were really upset last week about Susie going home, and I understand that. There's always a shock out. Katya, Latrice, Vanjie, XYZ. There's always someone that they snipe off right before the end that is very well liked by the fans, and they kick them off so that you get addicted to that unhappiness, so you come back the next year to root for someone and see if your favorite will make it through. It's designed like the McDonald's fries to have the exact flavor that you want to keep returning. And so with Susie winning this, I just wasn't really shocked or surprised because of the nature of her elimination. I really wanted to be like, yes! 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 But instead I was just like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense, sure. Susie was genuinely good through the competition, and she was genuinely good this episode. She genuinely and rightfully earned this win. However, I think it would have been a more fair fight if she was paired up with maybe Lana. I think maybe there would have been that, yes, Susie won, rather than just, oh yeah, sure. It's hard to be super excited for someone winning when their competitor didn't know the words to the song. It's like Anita Wiglet being told that she was the definitive winner of Snatch Game. Am I happy that Anita won? Yes. But am I super excited? No, because everybody else was so bad. There was no competition. So like, how can I be too excited? I'm just like, oh, great. At least she won. Next up is the finale. I want to know who y'all are rooting for. Who do you think is going to win? My early predictions right now are that it's going to be Jules and Anya top 2. I feel like Sam is going to be the first one sniped out. I feel like Lexi is probably going to be second sniped out. And the final lip sync will be Jules and Anya. And if it's the two of them, I don't know who I want to win. I really want it to be Anya because I've been rooting for her since very early in the competition, but also I love Jules. She's really grown on me, and I think she's so sweet and engaging and entertaining. And I think both of them have that thing that Drag Race is usually looking for. I think they've got that winner quality that Drag Race wants, and I could see either one of them taking it. Let me know who you're rooting for in the comments below, and I will see y'all on the flip.